Nice. Hey, have you ever been to a long-range shooting school? Well, if you have, you've probably noticed something. They're all conducted on flat ground with a nice mat or some soft gravel or grass like this. And it's great. You use a bipod up front, you're prone, you're about as solid as you can get. Great way to shoot precisely. But what happens when you go out to the hunting world? Well, we're about to find out a better way to stabilize your rifle. All about the versatile shooting sticks on this episode of Ron Spomer Outdoors. Well, out in the real world, you may be hunting in brush and thickets where you might have to shoot standing up. But you might be hunting in grasslands, and if you go prone, you won't be able to shoot through the grass. Or find yourself on a brushy hillside, you go prone and you disappear. And even if you're on a relatively open grassy hillside and you've got a buck up on the side hill across, you go prone and you've got a heck of a time getting that rifle up to where that buck is. It's just not the place to work prone with a short bipod on your rifle. So let's check out my solution, the portable sitting bipod. So, portable steady sticks. This is what I first met years ago when I was shooting without any support, just sitting, using my knees in the classic position. And I was taking most of my game that way. But I wanted to get steadier and found out about these shooting sticks. I mean, that's literally what they were called. If I remember right, a guy named Tom from Minnesota had come up with them and he was selling them. They're jointed, 3 pieces of arrow, aluminum arrow really, or tent stake with a little bungee cord inside, and they pop apart, fold up, and you wear them on your belt. And they work just great. It took me a bit of practice to get good with them. A lot of folks will say, I just can't shoot with those. They're not steady enough. But I've shot out to 450 yards. I think one time I even made a 500-yard shot, one of the longest I ever attempted. And they work so well that just became my standard. And there are several reasons why. One of them is the incredible versatility for different shooting angles. Now, we already showed how difficult it was to lie on a hillside and shoot up the other side. Well, if I'm sitting here and doing that, I just fold these things tighter and that elevates me and I can get higher. And if I need to shoot lower, I spread them out and I can shoot lower. And it's just that quick. And another quick thing about it is if I need to change position, my game has moved or something better has popped up on either side of me or even behind me, I got a single point, my butt, that I can use for a swivel and spin around and take my shot over here. And I can spin back around and take my shot over here. And look at what I can do with these legs. If I'm on a really steep hillside, I just fold that one out farther. And now I can shoot over here. Just incredibly versatile. And with this leg pulling apart, I've even used them as a short little prone bipod. But I've got them taped together now. They're so old and worn out that if I don't tape them together, they fall apart. I've got tape everywhere. Now, an option that I have been using a lot is something called predator snipe sticks. And I think a gentleman in Montana made these. And they're just one piece. Otherwise, same basic idea. It even has a little target arrow tip on the end of it to dig into the ground. These work really well too, and I use those a lot. What has happened over the years is that I realize keeping these on my belt isn't really what I like to do, because then I have to rip them off my belt and put them together. So I just carry these in my hand. And then I can sit down and take my shot. They're really fairly comfortable and easy to carry, weigh about 6 ounces. Almost use them like a walking stick. So if you get a chance, I would definitely recommend you try them. They even work for kneeling shots. And I took my biggest mule deer using those sticks right there with a 280 AI kneeling. I sneaked up on this buck. 2 of them were heading over to the neighbors where we couldn't hunt, and they were getting right close to the fence. And I came around the side of the hill, and they were standing right at the fence line, and I plopped down. The grass was too tall to even sit and shoot. So I just used this kneeling position, and I got that buck at 245 yards. So I'd suggest you give them a try. Now, we're going to do some shooting here just to show you how well they work or how poorly I shoot. I'm going to try not to get too nervous and excited. I'm going to put my ears in here, and I have a box out in the field there. I don't know how far away that is. I'm guessing it's about 175, 225 yards, somewhere in that range. What I do for practice is I'll take a cardboard box out there and put an 8-inch or 10-inch target on it, or just use a 10-inch square box, something that represents the chest cavity of a deer. And that will be my target, and really all I have to do is hit that. That's the vital zone. And if I can hit that from any position, I get a lot of confidence. It's a real confidence booster. So we're going to get this loaded and get my camera girl some ear protection, and we'll be right back to do some shooting. Yeah. Little bit contorted. I should pull it up a bit. Nice, much more comfortable. Now it's time to get steady. It helps if I put the safety off. Too many things to think about. Couple of inches high, pretty close to the center. Not bad. And again, if I were serious about training out here, I would have these boxes scattered around, or I would walk. I'd shoot here, and then I would walk up the hill and try it from a different angle and really break it up. And that helps you train with the sticks. You're in different areas, different positions, and also getting into the position rather quickly. Probably should do that really quick. I'm gonna keep this thing unloaded, but put it on my shoulder as if I were hunting, and just show you what it's like to get into position. So you're walking along, and I'm carrying these sort of like a walking stick like this, and I see my game. I bring the rifle over. I spread those sticks as I sit. I'm into it. I close my actions. I don't even have to carry around in the chamber in open country like this. And just that quickly, I'm ready to shoot. So it's worth doing that kind of practice. And as I said earlier, I can reach pretty darn far. I've got my gong up on the hill in a position from which I don't usually shoot. But, oh gosh, I've probably closed within 300 yards of it from here. But it is at a bit of a goofy angle, and it's pretty high. So you see how much I'm going to have to squeeze those sticks together to try to hit that gong. Yeah, I'm going to try that. But before I do, I want to turn the camera up there. Well, maybe I'll take one more shot at this guy. I know what. I'm going to take a shot without the steady sticks. We'll see what's more accurate. I'm going to use the sling wrap. Good position. Now, something that I really would strive for and recommend is to get your back against something on that hillside. A tree stump, a rock, a bush. I use sagebrush a lot out in the west because it's usually the only thing that's around that'll work. But if I don't have anything, I just have to trust to my old skills and see if I have any. Here we go. That was going to be high, but I like the windage on it. Yeah, it looks like I'm about 4 inches high on that one. Yeah, those shooting sticks are definitely the way they go. To keep that trigger hand arm from flopping around, if you can't get a good solid knee, get your knee against something, get something under it. If you have a backpack, that really works well. And speaking of backpacks, we're going to do another show like this that's all about using a backpack to steady your shots. Yeah, sometimes I don't like carrying a backpack just because of the weight, but usually out in the West especially, you're gone all day and you need your supplies. You need your water and your food and your emergency safety equipment and your flashlights and a spare jacket and all that. So you've got a pack. And if I have that pack and it's pretty well stuffed, there's a lot of ways you can use that to steady your shots. And one of them is to put it under this leg or this arm and steady that. And that really helps lock you in. You know, now that I'm looking, those two holes are about this far apart. That's not bad. Let's set up for that gong shot next. Now here's a good bush I could probably sit against. It's a bitter brush. Deer love to eat this in winter. So I would set up against this if I were going to shoot a long shot across there without bipod under the front end on a prone shot. We're going to see what we can do right like this. So I'm going to pull that in to get up that hillside. And now I can slide my rifle higher too to get my support up. And look at how much higher I get on that angle. Okay, where is my target? Looks pretty small from here. Let's see what we can do. Smack, got it. And that's just exactly why this works so well, folks. I mean, that's probably 350. I'd say that's about right from the normal bench I'm down there, somewhere in that range. So, like I say, they're convenient and they're versatile and they don't cost much. I don't know if they make them anymore. I'm pretty sure Predator Sticks is out of business. Steady Sticks sold years ago and they made a cheaper version out of China that had really weak furls and it wobbled and shook all over. But I think we're going to look to see, it's been several years since I've checked. We're going to look and see if they've got some more of these good aluminum ones that are strong. And if we find them, we'll link on here so you can look for some and just check them out. I think if you practice with them, as I've suggested, and try a few different things, I think you're going to grow to like them. And they're definitely going to help you out on shooting in big open country like this. You might not need them if you're staying home in a blind or a box and shooting whitetail inside of woods and such. You don't really need it. But boy, if you come out west or any kind of open country, long shots, shooting sticks are really going to help. So this is my my take on shooting sticks. I hope you try them and I think you're going to enjoy them. This is Ron Spomer. Again, I want to thank all of our patrons for supporting us and helping us make these videos. If you'd like to join us, go to patreon.com and Ron Spomer Outdoors. And also, please subscribe to the channel because that really helps too. See you next time.